Testing 1, 2, 3. Hi, this is warning, the following video may contain adult language and themes. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. If you have a problem with this, please stop playing this video now. You've been warned. Hi, this is my movie review of the 1996 movie called From Dusk Till Dawn. You probably heard of it. I heard of it. I just hadn't watched it for a long time. I knew a little bit about it, and the basic plot is, which is not really going to spoilers, is that this these two brothers who are criminals take a family hostage and hold up in a Mexican bar, and it turns out that the bar is run by vampires, and they are locked in the bar all night, and they have to survive until dawn. Hence, Dusk Till Dawn. It was directed by Robert Rodriguez. Probably recognize that name, right? It was written by Robert Kurtzman and Quentin Tarantino. I knew it. I knew Quentin Tarantino had some involvement in the production of it. He had to have. It is rated 7.3 on Internet Movie Database, which is actually pretty good for a horror movie. Seeing as how the average rating for Friday the 13th is like 5. It stars George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino as the two criminal brothers, Harvey Keitel and Julia Andrews and Ernest Liu star as the family that they take hostage, and there are other people like I think Selma Hayek is one of the vampires in the club. So is Danny Trejo. Tom Savini, I believe, is one of the people in the bar, a civilian who joins in the fight against the vampires. And there were a lot of, I think there were other recognizable names, but I just don't know them offhand. I don't remember them. But what do I think of this spoiler-free review right now? I would say the best part of this movie, in my opinion, was actually before they even find out about the vampires. When it's just a crime movie. At the point when the vampires expose themselves and start eating people, and they have to start fighting them, it sort of is goes up and down in quality very much. But up until that point, I thought it was a really good crime movie. It was witty, it was funny. That's why I think I was like, this had to have written by Quentin Tarantino, because it kind of has that dialogue. And I don't like all of Quentin Tarantino stuff. In fact, I probably hate more of his stuff than I like. But I think he's a better writer than he is a director, if you want my honest opinion. But anyway, yeah, up until that point, when it was just a crime movie about George Clooney, and George Clooney playing a badass is kind of hard to buy. I've never thought of him as that in that way. But here's another side note: Quentin Tarantino plays a great psychopathic asshole. He really does. In this movie, he's a really I don't really like Quentin Tarantino that much as a person, his personality wise, but he really pulled off this character pretty well. And so yeah, up until the vampires are appear, and it's just a crime movie. That's probably the best part, in my opinion. Um, and what is up with Quentin Tarantino's fascination with feet? I know he has a feet fetish, but it's just, God, I never gotten that. I never got into the feet fetish thing. And there's a scene where he drinks like liquor off of a woman's foot, and it's just what? I mean, I never got into that. Anyway, so yeah, up until the point where they meet the vampires, it's actually really good. It's a really good crime movie, I thought. Really witty, really dark humor, kind of suspenseful at times. But once they get to the vampires, I don't know. It tries to go for too much of humor. Let me back up a little bit. In fact, it kind of got kind of bad when they got to the club where the vampires at. When they first got there, it kind of got bad. It got a little too cheesy, and it got a little too like silly at times. The special effects of the vampires, some of the effects looked good, but some of them just looked really cheap as hell. Like it looked just like they were fighting people in rubber masks, and it just looked really cheap as hell. Um, yeah, and at times the vampires seemed really, really powerful, and at times they seemed really, really weak and like pushovers. Um, so yeah, I'm not gonna spoil how it ends, but like I said, there are really good parts of this, like this the horror movie part of it. After they get to the club, that segment on almost ruins the first segment, in my opinion. Like, um, yeah, and it gets really cheesy. Like Harvey Keitel, the one of the guy who's being hijacked by George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino, is that used to be like a minister or something, and like when they gear up to fight the vampires, like Harvey Keitel just like gets all these water balloons for his son, and he blesses them. He's like, oh, I bless this water, and it's like, and all of a sudden the water like hurts the vampires. And it's like, what? It's like it's that cheap, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, really? Couldn't they just all have squirt guns then? Couldn't they like, just get a fire hose or something and just I bless this water and just spray everybody down? I mean, it just becomes so cheap. Really, that did it, you know? But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd have to give I have to rate this movie as an overall experience, though. I have to take into account the good and the bad, and if I did that, I probably overall would rate this. Oh man, what would I rate this? I'd probably rate this like a 6.7 out of 10. Yeah, that's probably what I have to go with, a 6.7 out of 10, because oh man, the horror aspects of it just aren't up to par. The crime aspects are actually really good. But yeah, so that's my review. Again, it's called From Dusk Till Dawn. You probably heard of it. If you haven't seen it, go out and see it. It's not bad, I guess. It's rated R. There's a lot of nudity in it. The violence is pretty gratuitous. At least they get that right. At least they get the blood and the gore and the tits right. At least they cover that base. But even the gore, though, sometimes it looked really fake. Anyway, so that's my review of From Dusk Till Dawn. Thanks. Bye.